Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So my name's Katie and today we're going to be talking about my most anticipated releases of 2022. I find 2022 so hard to say for some reason. It's like such a tongue twister. But anyway, yeah. So actually I found a bit of trouble making this list. I don't know, I feel like there's not loads of books that I'm really excited for coming out in 2022. There's quite a few sequels and to be honest most of the books on this list are like sequels or continuations of series that I'm already a fan of. So I haven't heard that many like new releases coming out. But if anybody knows of any then definitely let me know. But they tend to be the kind of books which I will read once there's been some like hype around them, or I don't know, I feel like the books I like get excited for and pre-order are a series I already kind of love, and then new discoveries I kind of discover as they're coming out and like the hype around them is coming out. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe I just don't do enough research, but anyway, I'm excited to talk about these books that I have on my list. So I have my little bullet journal here, which I really like. I haven't actually finished like filling in the anticipated releases thing, so only some of them have boxes, but I have written in all the books I'm excited for, so it's serving its purpose there. Yeah, so I'll just go through them, and yeah, if you know, also comment down below if any books you're excited for, because I really love to know like more books, and or if you think I've forgotten anything, because there probably are like series continuations that I'm excited for but I haven't taken note of. Oh God, I don't know. Okay, anyway, so January, there's nothing I can think of except Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I'm not quite sure which day this comes out on, but I have already read it. I've read an arc, but I would highly recommend like pre-ordering or getting it when it's out because it's so good. It's like really I don't want to say like classic YA, but it just has that sort of feeling. Actually, I don't even know if it's YA, it might be adult, but the writing is like so lyrical, so beautiful. The love triangle, I think I just assume it's YA because the love triangle, but you know, the love triangle is god tier. It's like one of my favourite things. There's a really great sort of twist reveal about 70% of the way through, which just made the last bit of the book absolutely amazing. I think I gave the whole book 4 stars, but like the last quarter would be 5 stars. Yeah, it was really good. The characters are really lovable. It's a retelling of well, not really a retelling, but it's a story told from the perspective of the daughter of the moon goddess Chang'e, which I really love that tale, especially after watching Gardens of the Moon, Over the Moon, which is another sort of retelling of that legend. But yeah, so that's a film, by the way. Yeah, I would highly recommend putting that one on your radar. And then for February, so we have another book I've actually already read, and that is The Thousand Eyes, which is the sequel to The Unspoken Name, which I have here. And I'm so excited for this one to come out, because I mean I have already read it because I read an arc, but I really want to get the audiobook because I listened to The Unspoken Name on audio and loved it, and so I'm hoping The Thousand Eyes is the same narrator because it's Avita J, who also does all of Bee's narration in the Fits and the Fool trilogy, and I really love her narration, so I'm excited to reread that one once it's out. And this series, so the first one is basically following Soy, who's part of this kind of cult thing, and she's the chosen one, so she's going to be like the bride to this unspoken one who's like a god monster thing, but the day before she's like due to be sacrificed, this mysterious stranger shows up and like whisks her away and saves her from being a sacrifice and makes her his apprentice. So then she's training in like the assassin and like magic and stuff, and then years later she goes on this mission with her sort of almost like a sibling, who's also been trained by this wizard that took her away, and they go on this mission to try and find this artifact. It's really good, lots of like chaotic vibes. There's a great sapphic relationship, and then the sequel is also really good. We're kind of following the same characters but focused slightly on the Soy's kind of pseudo sibling. That's what I like to call him, but Tal, he's great, he's so funny. And yeah, the sequel just has a really great sort of orphan mentor relationship, which is so good. Like yeah, I would just highly recommend this series. So if you haven't read the first one, get on it. If you have read the first one, then pre-order the sequel because you won't want to miss out. Okay, so then I think all the other books on this list I haven't read. So we also have in February Count Your Lucky Stars by Alexandra Belfleur, and this is a romance. It's like a standalone, but it's part of a little series, kind of like the Brown Sisters book. So I have read Written in the Stars, which is like the first book in the series. I haven't yet read Hang in the Moon, which is the second book. And then Count Your Lucky Stars is the third book. But I really want to read this one. I think it's like a sapphic second chance romance, which sounds so good. The cover's really cool. There's like, the authors, when they do those little graphics, it just so much sounds so good. I think I'm really gonna love it. I really enjoyed Written in the Stars, so I know I like this author. And yeah, I just think it'll be a great time. Like, I love a bit of fluffy romance on occasion, especially because they'll be coming out like when I'm getting closer to exams, so it'll be the perfect like evening relaxing reading. Because I remember last year when I was doing my exams, I just did not have the energy to read in the evenings after revising, except from like the occasional thing. But I think romance is like a really great way to get a bit of romance. Get a bit of, I don't know. Yeah, so that's that one. I don't actually really know the plot or anything. I just know it's like a second chance thing. But yeah. Okay, then in March we have The River of Silver by S.A. Chakraborty, and this is like in the Daevabad world, but it's a collection of short stories, I think, and focusing on like some of the more side characters from the Daevabad series, which I'm really looking forward to. I think I have actually read some of these short stories because I think they were on her website for a bit, but then they took them down because they were going to be part of this collection. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think I know there's some short stories following Reindeer and Jamshid, and I love them, they're so cute, and also Zainab. So I'm really looking forward to those, and I hope we get some like stories with the kind of backstory of the older characters. I don't know, I think that would be really good. But yeah, I love the Daevabad series, so I'm really excited that there's like a new, it's not really an installment, but new content coming out in the world. And I don't know, I think this one might be only available on audio, at least at first, which is great for me because I read the whole series on audio and I love the audiobook narrator. But yeah, I don't know when it's actually coming out like physically. So then we actually have quite a few books in April that are coming out, which I'm excited for. So the first is The Discord of Gods by Jen Lyons, and this is the final book in the Chorus of Dragons series. So I have books 1 to 4 here. And yeah, I really love this series. It's so like chaotic and convoluted, and I just really love all the characters. I'm like so attached to them all now, especially after reading 4 books, and yeah, I just think the finale is going to be great. I know it's going to be a little bit cheesy because I think book 4 was a little bit cheesy as well, but I don't know, I just love a bit of cheese sometimes, and yeah, it's a really great kind of fantasy series, which I would highly recommend if you haven't read the first one, but I'm excited for the 5th one. And the first one we're kind of following Kieran, who discovers when he's little there's like the sky onto this the lost sky onto this powerful family, so he's sort of taken back in by them, but he's kind of a bit of a rogue. And then we're also following him sort of later on in a different timeline where he's kind of being sold to this like Black Dagger Brotherhood thing, which are I'm not actually sure if they're called that. I thought they were, but that's also the name of a romance series, so I might be getting them confused. But anyway, so he's sort of sold, and then he goes to this island with all these assassins, and anyway, the plot's very convoluted. There's a lot of like family politics and like soul swapping and body swapping, and it's all very confusing, but it's a great time if it clicks with you. I think if you don't like it, you won't like it, but yeah, I would highly recommend. And then we have The Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne, which is book 2 in the Shadow of the Gods. I don't know, the series is called The Bloodsworn. So this is like a Norse Viking-y fantasy, which I really enjoyed book 1, so I'm excited to see book 2. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about it. I can't even really remember what book 1 is. I know there's 3 characters, one of whom is Orca, who's a great like badass MILF character, so obviously I love her. And she sort of goes off, her son I think gets kidnapped or something, and she goes off to try and rescue him. And then there's these like old gods rising, and then there's also, we're following 2 characters who are part of these like Bloodsworn crews, so they essentially are on like ships and go around like almost like vigilantes, I think. And we're also following them, and then the paths collide, and there's various like antics, so I'm looking forward to book 2. I think it's going to be really good. And then we also have, and that comes out on the 14th, Discord of the Gods comes out on the 28th. I haven't been doing very well with my actual dates. River of Silver comes out on the 1st of March, and Count Your Lucky Stars comes out on the 1st of February. I think The Thousand Nights comes out on the 28th of February, but I might be wrong. Does the 28th of February even exist? Yeah, it does. It's the 29th that only happens once every 4 years. Anyway, yeah, so they're the days. And then also on the 14th is Amari and the Great Game, which is the sequel to Amari and the Night Brothers. So I really loved Amari and the Night Brothers. It's a great middle grade. It's so like, it just has all the elements of middle grade that I love and like brings them together in a really great way. There's so many great themes. Amari's a great main character. I love, yeah, I just love it, and I'm really looking forward to book 2. I think it's going to be really good, but also really pretty. I love the cover, and I'm hoping it has like gold sparkly edges, because my edition of Amari has like silver sparkly edges, so oh, it's just going to look so good. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see like Amari on her next adventure. But book 1 is Amari, and her brother has been missing for is presumed dead for a long time. And Amari is like following in his footsteps by going to this, I think it's called the Bureau of something, because her brother was like secretly this like secret agent type thing of like magic. But anyway, Amari joins this bureau, and there's like various drama going on. It's a bit magical schooly, but like it's special investigations, and it's all a lot of fun. I can't really remember the plot super well. I might have to reread it before I read book 2, but yeah, it's great. Okay, then I have nothing for May, which is a bit, I'm sure there must be stuff coming out in May, because there's always loads of book releases in May. I know there's I Kissed Shara Wheeler by Casey McQuiston, which I'm looking forward to. I'm not entirely clear when that's coming out though. But that I think is her first YA novel, and I think it follows this character called Shara Wheeler who's like gone missing, but everyone she kissed she like sends a letter to, and then all the people who get these letters like team up and are trying to track her down, which it sounds kind of fun, so I'm looking forward to that one. And also, I'm not sure if this is coming out in May or June, but For the Throne by Hannah Witten. Is it Hannah Witten? Yeah, which is the sequel to For the Wolf. I really love For the Wolf. It's got a great like romance. I love the kind of sistery bond. Yeah, I just loved it in general, so I would highly recommend, and I'm really looking forward to the sequel. And the writing as well is so like lush, and it's very foresty. I love magical forest vibes. I might have to do a video on like books featuring magical forests. I don't know if I've even read that many, but yeah, would highly recommend, and I'm really looking forward to that one, but I don't actually know the exact date. I'll put it like in the screen somewhere. Yeah, okay, and then in June we have The Grief of Stones, which comes out on the 14th, and that is the like sequel companion I don't know, really clear what it is, to The Witness for the Dead by Catherine Addison, which is also a companion novel to the Goblin Emperor. I really love both The Goblin Emperor and The Witness for the Dead, so I'm looking forward to The Grief of Stones. I think it's gonna follow the same character that The Witness for the Dead follows, and I feel like, because the first one is kind of a murder mystery type thing, so I feel like it might be following another like murder mystery, and I hope it's a little series, because yeah, the characters are all just such cinnamon rolls. There's some really interesting sort of themes and like speculations on sort of humanity, I guess. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it. The writing's really nice as well. I don't know how to describe the writing. It's kind of like similar to sort of Becky Chambers' writing. It's like very warm, huggy. But yes, I'm looking forward to that one, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the UK cover's like, because I've only seen the US cover so far, I think. But I love the UK covers for both the ones so far, so I have high hopes. And then also in June is The Speaking Bones, or not The Speaking Bones, just Speaking Bones, which is the 4th book in the Dandelion Dynasty and the final book, and I'm so excited for this one. I think it's going to be amazing, because basically the Veiled Throne, which is book 3, and Speaking Bones kind of was meant to be like one big book and got split in 2. So a lot of the Veiled Throne, there's a lot of stuff set up which isn't concluded in the Veiled Throne, so it's going to be concluded in Speaking Bones, and I just cannot wait, because some of the plot thread like set up is just so good. So I think it's going to have amazing payoff. Ken Liu is an amazing author. His like themes, his prose, his characters are just all so good, so I cannot wait for book 4. Yeah, can't wait to see what Gia's up to, and I'm really looking forward to see how everything kind of concludes. Yeah, I know like probably some of my favourites are gonna die, but then next, so in July we have Prayer for the Crown Shy by Becky Chambers, which is like book 2 in the Monk and Robot series. So the first one is A Psalm for the Wild Built, which I really loved. It's an amazing little novella. It's just so like heartwarming, cozy, gives you faith in humanity, like all Becky Chambers books, but just really love the whole like botanical and like ecological themes. And there's just so much, like, her writing's just so good, and it always leaves you feeling like, I don't know, like comforted and like you've had a break from the world and like hopeful for the future. So I'm really looking forward to reading A Prayer for the Crown Shy and continuing to follow Moss and Dex and Mosscap on their adventures. Yeah, and then in August we have The Oleander Sword by Tasha Suri, which comes out on the 18th, which is the sequel to The Jasmine Throne. So I enjoyed The Jasmine Throne. I don't think it's like a complete all-time new favourite or anything, which I was kind of hoping it would be, but I did really like the sort of magic and the like naturey magic, and I like the sort of setup of the world. I don't know if I'm quite saying that right, but like I like the whole, I feel like I like the like, I don't know how to explain this. I like the setting of the world, but I think they're like, because it was like hyped up as this like big romance, like sapphic romance, and like morally grey, and I don't think it quite delivered on those things, but I did really like the like magic and the kind of world building, and the like some of the side characters I actually really liked. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the Oleander Sword like expands on things, and I'm quite excited. So yeah, and the cover's also beautiful. Yes, so that's that one. And then also on the 18th is Babble by R.F. Kuang. And this is like her new book, which I don't think is fantasy, I think it's dark academia. Might have some fantasy elements, but I'm not entirely sure. But I'm looking forward to this one. If anyone can save dark academia for me, it's R.F. Kuang. Yeah, I don't really know what it's about. I know it's set in Oxford, I think, and that's about all I know. I don't know if it's something like, because the full title is like An Arcane History of something, so I don't know if it's gonna have something to do with like demons or like the arcane, or whether there's gonna be like a murder mystery, or I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it anyway. I'm gonna read it like regardless of the synopsis, so hopefully I enjoy it. And the cover's really cool as well. Yeah, and then in September we have Nona the Ninth, which is probably, I don't know, probably other than Speaking Bones, probably the book I'm most excited for. Yeah, I just love the Gideon the Ninth series. You can just see Harry peeking out there. And actually I was kind of, after they announced that there was going to be a fourth book, and because I was really looking forward to Electo the Ninth, because I'm so like interested in whatever was going on with Electo and John. And so when they first announced Nona the Ninth, I was kind of like, oh, now we're gonna have to wait another year for Electo. But once the Nona, because I thought, for some reason I had in my head that Nona the Ninth was gonna follow like a completely separate sort of story or storyline, but then once they released the synopsis, it made me so excited for Nona, just because like it's following on from kind of the end of Harrow, so it just makes sense where the story is and what that story is gonna tell. So it just has me so excited. I love Gideon and Harrow, so I feel like I'm really gonna love Nona. And yeah, I just can't wait. I don't even really know how to describe the series. I guess Gideon follows Gideon the Ninth, who has grown up on the Ninth House, and she's constantly trying to like escape, but her escape attempts are being thwarted by Harrow, who is the reverend daughter of the Ninth House, and which is essentially kind of like the princess. But then one day Harrow announces that she's going to enter this competition to kind of ascertain the secrets to this thing called lictorhood, which is like almost like a god. And she recruits Gideon to be her like bodyguard. So then they go to this, what's it called? Canaan House, which is like the first house, and all the other houses are there. So like the second house, the third house, the fourth house, blah blah blah. And they are all, so there's a pair like a necromancer and their kind of cavalier, which is their bodyguard. So Harrow's the necromancer, Gideon's the bodyguard. So there's all these pairs, and then when they're in Canaan House, they're trying to ascertain these secrets to lictorhood, but at the same time people start dying, so it becomes a bit of a murder mystery. It's really good. Harrow gets a bit more kind of sci-fi-y, and there's almost, I don't want to call it like a pantheon of gods, but it's kind of those vibes, or like the Golds from Red Rising. Yeah, I just love it, and I'm so excited for Nona, so yeah, that's that one. I cannot wait for the cover. Oh, yeah, and then we also, the only other thing I can think of in this list is The Lost Metal in November, which is the 4th book in Miss Fun Era 2. I actually really love Miss Fun Era 2. I think it's a lot of fun. And actually I've forgotten how the ending of whatever book 3 is The Bands of Mourning makes me very tentatively scared / excited for book 4. I think Brandon Sanderson generally does his conclusions really well, so I think book 4 is going to be really good. And we'll probably see you know who. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that one, although it's kind of a long time away, so I don't think I'm fully like on the hype train yet, but I think I will be when the time comes around. Yeah, and I might actually, maybe I might reread all of Mistborn this year. That would be fun. I don't know if I'd have time, but I think that would be good because it's been so long since I read them. Oh, it's been like over probably nearly 3 years. Yeah, so that's that one. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I already said let me know in the comments the book you're excited for coming out this year, because I would really love to know, and I would love to get some more like recommendations to add to my list, because it's looking a bit bare bones at the moment. But yeah, so if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I hope you're all having a really great day, and I will see you next time.